Right. This is a discussion for 1993 A-level essay question number 2. State Archimedes principle. So what's Archimedes principle? If an object is fully or partially submerged in a particular fluid, fully or partially submerged in a particular fluid, the upward force acting on the object is equal to the weight of the displaced fluid. Right. Explain why it is easier to float a uniform cylindrical body horizontally in a liquid than vertically. Because hold careful. When a cylinder is vertical, remember the center of gravity is above the center of buoyancy. Center of gravity is above the center of buoyancy. And the distance between them is also large. So it's unstable. When it falls horizontally, now don't think the location changes. Upthrust here, weight is there. Now the distance between center of gravity and center of buoyancy reduces. The distance between center of gravity and center of buoyancy reduces. If the distance reduces, more stable than the vertical position. Okay, now? That is why it's much more easier to float horizontally than vertically. Right there. When the cylinder is floating vertically, the center of gravity is above the center of buoyancy. And the distance between them is also very large. And the distance between them is also very large. Therefore, it is unstable. But when it's floating horizontally, even though the center of gravity is above the center of buoyancy, the distance between them is very small. Therefore, it is more stable. Okay? Right. How can this cylinder be made to float vertically? What we can do is we can connect a larger weight at the bottom. If there is a larger weight at the bottom, the resultant center of gravity or the center of gravity of the system is below the center of buoyancy. Now you have done this for hydrometer one. Below the center of buoyancy. If it's below the center of buoyancy, it is in what equilibrium? Stable equilibrium. Okay, no? That's right. By connecting a weight to the bottom of the cylinder, the resultant center of gravity of the system can be moved down. and the center of gravity will be below the center of buoyancy. Center of gravity will be below the center of buoyancy. Center of gravity will be below the center of buoyancy. Therefore, it will be in stable equilibrium. Therefore, it will be in stable equilibrium. Therefore, it will be in stable equilibrium. Okay, no? Right. Describe how such a cylinder can be used to determine the relative density of a liquid. Now, relative density of a liquid means first what we do is we take a cylinder and we float it in water. When we float in water, upward forces should balance downward forces. So we have upthrust in water balancing the weight. Cross-sectional area AHW rho WG is mg. Then what we can do is we can make the same mass float in a liquid. Submerged hydrogen liquid HL. Upward forces balances downward forces. AHL rho LG is mg. Equation number 2. What can you say about equation 1 and 2? 1 and 2 are equal. AHW rho WG, AHL rho LG, AG cancel. Relative density of the liquid rho L over rho W is HW over HL. From this you can find the relative density of the liquid. Relative density of the liquid. Okay. Easily you can find the relative density of the liquid. Not difficult. Okay. Right. These are the saying. A pan of water is suspended by two balancers. So remember, beaker and water suspended by two balancers X and Y. Suspended by two balancers X and Y like this. Okay. X and Y. X and Y will read 1 kilogram each. X and Y will read 1 kilogram each. And there is a mass connected here. The mass connected there is exactly given as mass connected there is 3.2 kilograms. 3.2 kilograms. In some books there is a printing error, including the book that I am using. Past paper book they have misprinted it as 1.2. It should be 3.2. Okay. It should be 3.2. Okay. So now we can find this upward forces, balancers, downward forces. Two readings in kilogram we can do. 2 kilogram is equal to total mass of water. Mass of water and beaker. Mass of the water and the beaker, that is 2 kilograms. Right. Now what's happening is, now we fully submerge this. Then let's say the block is gradually submerged, increasing the length of the string, such that it's completely immersed in water. Such that it's completely immersed in water. Completely immersed in water. There you go. T2, T2, when it's completely immersed in water, the balance will read 2.8 kilogram. Now the balance here reads 2.8 kilogram. Be careful now. Actual weight is 3.8, 3.2 kilogram. Upthrust is acting there. Upthrust is acting there. Therefore, now we can use this to find the upthrust. Upward forces, balances, downward forces on the mass. On the mass. 2.8 plus upthrust is 3.2. U is equal to 0.4 kilogram. Remember, every action has equal opposite reaction. Upward U means equal opposite downward also U. Down thrust. What do you call this? Down thrust. It's pushing the water down. So already the weight here is 2 kilogram. This is not touching the bottom. But remember, there is an additional push. So here we can write 2T2 equals weight of the water and beaker plus 0.4. 2T2 is equal to 2.4. T2 is equal to 1.2 kilogram. X and Y will each reach 1.2 kilograms. Don't forget that. X and Y will each reach 1.2 kilograms. Why? Here no good G. We work in kilograms. Upthrust is found in kilograms. Equal opposite down thrust is there in kilograms. 2 kilogram weight water and beaker plus the U is also pushing it down. This is also pushing it down. So it will increase. From there we can find the tension, new tension 1.2 kilograms. 1.2 kilograms. Okay. So new readings of X and Y. New readings of X and Y is 1.2 kilogram each. 1.2 kilogram each. So don't forget, here on the mass there is upthrust, equal opposite down thrust is acting. Equal opposite down thrust is acting. Right. Next, if the brass is made from copper and zinc. Now this is brass. This is brass. Mass of brass is made from copper and zinc. Mass of brass is 3.2 kilograms. Mass of copper is volume of copper, density of copper. Volume of zinc, density of zinc. 3.2. Density of copper is 9000 Vc. Density of zinc is 7000 Vz. Equation number 1. Also don't forget, fully submerged here means upthrust equals submerged volume into density of water in kilogram. Upthrust is 0.4. Submerged volume is volume of zinc and volume of copper. Why? This full mass has copper, has zinc. Total volume is the submerged volume. Be careful. 0.4. Volume of zinc, volume of copper, density of water is 1000 given. No? Density of water is 1000 given. So volume of zinc plus volume of copper is 0.0004. Equation number 2. 0.0004 equation number 2. Understood? So total mass of brass is mass of copper and mass of zinc. Mass of brass is given here 3.2 kilogram. Mass of copper is volume of copper, density of copper. Mass of zinc is volume of density, volume of zinc, density of zinc. Also don't forget, upthrust is acting on the total volume. Total volume means volume of zinc and copper. Now, I guess this part we can solve it. Very easily you can find simultaneously solve. If you solve 1 and 2, we can find the volume of zinc and the volume of copper. Volume of zinc and volume of copper. So if you all 2 10 to the power minus 4 cubic meters each. 2 2 10 to the power minus 4 cubic meters each. You will easily get that answer. Check the calculation. I also have done my best. Yes, 2 kilograms each. From this we can find the mass of copper, volume of copper, density of copper. Mass of copper is going to be 2 10 to the power minus 4, density of copper is 9,000. 80,000 10 to the power minus 4, 1.8 kilogram. What about mass of zinc, volume of zinc, density of zinc? 2 10 to the power minus 4 into zinc is 7,000. Simplify this, 1.4 kilograms. 1.4 kilograms can be found. They are asking you to find the mass of zinc. Mass of zinc is 1.4 kilograms. 1.4 kilograms. Okay? This is a nice question. Remember, for the total mass of copper and zinc both will come. And when you are fully submerged, the volume of copper is also there, the volume of zinc is also there. Okay? Right. This concludes the discussion for the essay question number 2, 1993 A-level question.